Sitting is the new aging disease. In fact, sitting is the new smoking. Now, I wish I'd coined that term, but it was Martha Grogan, Dr. Martha Grogan from the famous Mayo Clinic in the U.S. And what she means when she says sitting is the new smoking is that when we sit for prolonged periods, which is defined for more than 11 hours a day in total, we have the same risk of cardiovascular disease as do smokers. I'm Dr. Paula Moore, the posture doctor. Welcome to Sit Less, Move More, office exercises to improve your posture. Now, if you're here, you're probably here because you're an office-based worker, or you know you sit for prolonged periods and you simply want to sit less and move more. So let's get going. So as you work through the course and truly begin to sit less and move more, there are 3 distinct benefits that you'll realize. The first of which is far more energy. So over the last several decades, the way we work has dramatically changed. Our working environments, technological advances, the way we socialize, how we shop, they've all led to prolonged periods during the day that we spend sitting. There's a growing body of evidence that links our sedentary, desk-based lives with many health risks: type 2 diabetes, obesity, metabolic syndrome, cancer, coronary heart disease. You know, in the last 2 weeks, my 56-year-old stepsister was raced to the hospital having had a stroke. Do you remember when strokes was something that only ever happened to our grandparents? So a recent study defined sedentary behavior as any waking behavior where our energy expenditure was just slightly oversleeping. Now, the amount of energy or calories that we burn when we're sleeping is known as the basal metabolic rate, BMR. You've probably heard that a lot. Now, here's a really easy way to figure out your BMR. So take your weight in pounds, multiply by 10 if you're a woman, 11 if you're a man, and then divide by the number of hours in the day, 24. So I weigh 136 pounds. I multiply by 10, divide by 24, and get my basal metabolic rate, which is 57. 57 calories that I burn every hour when I'm sleeping. They then discovered that when you're sedentary, so you're awake, you're burning just slightly more calories than you are when you're sleeping. In fact, 1.5 times your basal metabolic rate. So not much at all. And they use this to measure the amounts of calories being burned with different activities. And they discovered that truly sedentary behavior, where you're burning only 1.5 times your BMR, we're sitting at an office desk, standing at a desk, interestingly enough. Sometimes I'd even rated lower than sitting, unless you're on a treadmill desk, watching television and playing video games. Those 4 activities in particular counted as sedentary behavior. Not much happening to the metabolic rate. The very good news is it doesn't take a lot more movement to burn a lot more energy, measurable energy. So even walking burns 2.5 times the amount at rest, your basal metabolic rate. So for me, 57 was my BMR times 2.5. That means I'm now burning 142 calories an hour just walking at an easy pace. Imagine how much you'd be burning doing the exercises in this course. And that's what we're talking about. The real benefit of this course: when you increase your energy, you're protecting your heart. You're increasing your basal metabolic rate, making you less likely for coronary heart disease, cancer, and obesity. Fabulous first benefit for this course. When you sit less and move more, you'll realize a second benefit: more attractiveness. Now, who doesn't want that, right? Now, tell me if you agree with me. When you feel good in your body, you feel good in life, right? Now, it wasn't always that way for me. Over 20 years ago, as many of you know, I was suffering almost daily headaches that came about as a result of what I thought was a minor car accident. I was in a car, an Audi, with my friend, a gold-colored tank of a thing, thank goodness, when we were rear-ended. Now, I thought nothing more of that until many years later, not even when I was a chiropractic student or when I graduated or started practice. But it was when I saw a picture from my own clinic opening, and I was horrified by what I'd seen. I was a chiropractor with terrible forward head posture. You know, I was ashamed to call myself a practitioner. I became painfully self-conscious about my neck hump and forward head appearance, and I worried that if I didn't correct my posture, I'd go on to look like my mother, whose forward head posture now is very difficult to correct with advanced arthritis. You see, both my mother and I are fairly shy underneath the social facades, and we were both fairly insecure in childhood as well. And I see now that those childhood insecurities played out into our adult appearances. When we sit less and move more, we retrain our bodies on a regular basis and get rewarded with attractive, upright, confident posture. When we sit less and move more, there's a third benefit. Everybody talks about the importance of good posture, right? Well, few people truly understand the impact it really has, not just in the way we see ourselves or how others see us, but in the way we actually perform. When we sit less and move more, our chances of success greatly improve. Harvard professor Dr. Amy Cootie did a wonderful TED Talk on power poses. I'm sure many of you have seen it. She found that when we took up these expansive, open, powerful poses, the chemistry in our bodies actually altered so that we became better at our jobs and we interacted more with others. Our postures speak volumes about who we are. Now let me give you 4 examples. I'm going to do 4 postures and see if you can guess the personality underneath. Ready? Posture number 1. Shy, right? Number 2. Uninterested? How about number 3? Cocky, right? And number 4? I hope, good posture, confident but friendly. Even animals power pose. People power pose too. It's innate. You're born with it. We power pose when we're victorious. We win a game. We pose in a position of power. Think of our politicians. And we use lower, powerful poses when we feel weak and feeble. Professor Cootie found that when we held a powerful, open posture for just 2 minutes, our testosterone levels spiked 20% and our cortisol levels dropped. Now this is important because testosterone is the power hormone and cortisol is the stress hormone. Testosterone up, cortisol down. Great if you want to be a leader. So Dr. Cootie did this really cool study. She took a large group of people, divided them in 2. Half of them took on a powerful open posture pose for just 2 minutes, much like the exercises you do in sit less and move more. The other half, they took on closed postures for 2 minutes. And then they put them in front of a judge, a panel of judges actually, where they had mock interviews for jobs. And the results? You guessed it. The judges wanted to hire those who'd been powerfully posing for just 2 minutes a day. The judges described them as more enthusiastic, more confident, and more authentic. When you practice and you sit less and move more throughout the day, you alter your body chemistry and ultimately make yourself more successful in life.